I never thought I'd say this, but at 65 years old, I avoid people. Not because I hate people, not because I'm bitter, but because I've learned a hard truth. You cannot live a peaceful life if you surround yourself with the wrong people. It took me years to understand this. Decades of being used, misunderstood, and disappointed. If I could speak to my younger self, I'd tell him, not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Some people come into your life to build you up. Others come to break you down or take what you've built for themselves. And if you don't protect your peace, you'll lose yourself in the process. Today, I want to share what I've learned, not to make you avoid people out of fear, but to help you avoid unnecessary pain. My story isn't about isolation, it's about wisdom. Let me explain why I avoid people now and how this decision has given me the happiest years of my life. When I was younger, I believed that being surrounded by people was a sign of success. Parties, dinners, group vacations, it made me feel important, valued, and seen. I thought the more friends I had, the more meaningful my life was. But life doesn't work that way. When I lost my job at 40, everything changed. The calls stopped. The invitations dried up. People who once laughed with me suddenly became busy. And let me tell you, there's no loneliness quite like realizing that people liked what you had, not who you were. I remember calling one of my closest friends, Mike. We'd known each other for 15 years. I told him about my job loss, expecting support. You know what he said? "That's tough, man. Let me know when things get better." That's when it hit me. He wasn't really my friend. He was a spectator in my life, only cheering when I was winning. During that dark time, I realized something profound. Tough times reveal who's really in your corner. The people who stay when you have nothing are the ones worth holding on to. Everyone else? Let them go. Here's the thing about being a good person. If you're not careful, your goodness can become your weakness. I spent years trying to be the dependable friend, the understanding coworker, the reliable family member. But you know what happened? People started taking me for granted. I wasn't good because I was weak. I was good because I believed in helping others. But I learned that goodness without boundaries is like a door with no lock. It lets everyone in, even those who mean you harm. People will drain you if you let them. They'll call you selfish the moment you say no. But the truth is this: self-care isn't selfish. Protecting your peace isn't wrong. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And if you let everyone drink from your well without boundaries, you'll be left with nothing. C.S. Lewis once wrote that courage is the form every virtue takes at its testing point. Kindness needs courage. Generosity needs courage. Without the courage to set boundaries, even your best intentions can be manipulated. I remember a family member who always borrowed money from me. It started small. "Can I borrow $50? Then $100, then $200. I didn't want to seem rude, so I kept helping. But the more I gave, the less respect I received. I became an ATM, not a family member. And the day I finally said no, you know what happened? They stopped calling altogether. That's when I learned this. If someone only values you for what you give, they don't really value you at all. Let's talk about people pleasing. It's something I struggled with for years. I didn't want to disappoint anyone. I wanted everyone to like me. But let me tell you something hard. You could be the kindest, most generous person in the world, and someone will still find a reason to dislike you. I used to bend over backward to avoid conflict. I said yes to things I didn't want to do, stayed in conversations that drained me, and accepted apologies I didn't believe. Why? Because I thought being agreeable meant being loved. But all it did was make me tired, bitter, and invisible. One day, I asked myself, what would happen if I said no? It was scary at first. I thought people would hate me. And you know what? Some people did. But the ones who stayed, the ones who respected my boundaries, those were the real ones. I stopped losing sleep over the people who left. People-pleasing is a trap. It makes you a prisoner to other people's expectations. And no matter how much you give, it will never be enough for the wrong people. You'll break yourself trying to keep others whole. And let me tell you something. You deserve peace too. When I tell people I avoid others now, they look at me like I'm lonely. But here's the truth. Loneliness is craving someone's presence. Solitude is finding peace in your own. And the older I get, the more I treasure my solitude. There's power in waking up and choosing how to spend your time without worrying about impressing anyone. There's peace in going for a walk alone, sitting in your garden, or reading a book without checking your phone every 5 minutes. People fear being alone because they confuse it with being forgotten. But solitude isn't about disappearing. It's about reconnecting with yourself. I don't avoid people because I don't care. I avoid unnecessary noise because I value my peace. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is this: not everyone deserves access to you. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. And if you don't set boundaries, you'll become a dumping ground for other people's chaos. The first time I set a boundary, I felt guilty. I told a friend I couldn't help him move because I needed rest. He called me selfish. But here's what I realized: people who get mad at you for setting boundaries were only benefiting from your lack of them. Setting boundaries isn't cruel, it's necessary. It's how you protect your energy, your time, and your mental health. If someone can't respect your no, they don't deserve your yes. At 65, I don't need 100 friends. I don't need to be invited to every party or event. I'd rather have 2 or 3 genuine connections than a room full of acquaintances who disappear when life gets hard. There's a quote I live by: if you have to beg someone to be in your life, they don't belong there. The older I get, the more I believe that. The right people will make you feel loved even when you're quiet, tired, or not at your best. Those are the relationships worth keeping. So, why do I avoid people now? Because I've learned that my time is precious. My peace is priceless. And not everyone deserves access to my life. Walking away from toxic people doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise. If you're tired of being used, manipulated, or taken for granted, hear me. It's okay to choose yourself. You're not selfish for wanting peace. You deserve rest, joy, and respect. Protect your energy. Guard your peace. And remember, not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. Thank you for listening. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. God bless you.